Morning everyone, welcome to our stick mobility class. I'm on the right channel this time, so no technical errors there. So we're going to get started. So remember, if you have a couch pad or a pad for your knee, go ahead and grab that. We also want an elevated platform, either a couch or some type of step stool. Alrighty, let's grab our two sticks and let's get warmed up, guys. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we're going to set our feet a little wider than hip width apart. We're going to place the sticks in front of our, right in line with our middle toes, and then move them forward about 8 inches or so. Alrighty, so here's our side profile so you can see what we're doing. Reach up at the top. If you're a little bit taller and the sticks are too short, that's why we have the step stool or the bench. You can actually increase the length of them simply by setting them up on top of the platform. For the rest of us who are short, we're perfectly good with this. Grab in a rope grip, and now we're going to hang. Just drop your butt straight down towards the floor. So your arms are taking about 80% of your load. Now, keep that hang position and slowly bring your heels up so your toes are in extension. We're going to stay here for a few seconds, and then slowly bring your heels back down towards the floor. Bring them down like you're coming down on eggshells, and you don't want to break the eggshells. We're going to bring back up. And we're going to come down slowly. I'm going to change my position so you can see my front position. We're going to come back up, rep 3. When we're in the top position with the toes in extension, try to focus your weight on the middle of the foot. So we don't want to be out on the little toe. We don't want to be too collapsed on the big toe. We want to be equally distributed. Down slow, and we're going to go one more. And down slow. Now we're going to work some frontal plane shifting on the balls of the feet. So let's bring those heels back up. Both knees are facing forward, so no rotation of the upper leg bones right now. Shift all your weight to your right arm, to your right side. So your weight should be on your right hand, your right little toe, and your left big toe. Now we're going to rock literally to the side, to the left. You're on your left arm, your left little toe, and your right big toe. Rolling through the balls of the feet or the power pads of the feet, go back to the right. Make sure your knees are both facing forward. We don't want to see them rotated. Back to the left. Back to the right. So this is a nice deloaded version of warming up the feet. Sometimes it can be overstimulated if you're not used to using them. So we don't want to overstimulate them right away. Back to center and relax. Now let's get those hips moving. We're going to use double sticks. Take a nice wide base with your feet. Here's a horse stance. Your head is stacked over your shoulders are stacked over your hips. You should be nice and vertical through the upper body. Sticks are going to be at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock, bottom slightly angled in towards you, and hands are chest level. From here, let's push those sticks into the floor at about 40% tension to 50% tension. Now we're going to inhale, and we're going to anteriorly tilt the pelvis. We're going to push the butt backwards. We're going to exhale, and we're going to tuck the pelvis underneath us. Remember that red line that I talked about last session? We're trying to shorten that red line from the pubis bone to the sternum. Inhale, push your butt backwards. Now we're extending that red line. Exhale, and we're shortening that line. Inhale, this is what we call an anterior pelvic tuck, or a push, and then breathe, exhale, and this is what we call a posterior pelvic tuck. So we have our anterior pelvic tilt, inhale, exhale, come back to your posterior pelvic tuck. And relax. Reset your hands. You may have to give them just a second if you're not used to gripping a lot. Here we go again. Ready? Push the sticks into the floor about 50% tension. And now we're going to do lateral hip bumps. So we're going to bump the hip to the right. And now we're going to bump the hip to the left. We're moving just the hips. So here's my side profile. Bump to the right. You should feel your left lateral tissues doing the work. Bump to the left. Now you should feel your right lateral tissues doing the work. I'm going to give you a front profile here. Ready? Bump to the right. Bump to the left. This movement is used when you're walking. Your hips are going to hike on one side and drop on the other. Bump right. Bump left. Come back to center. We still have that pelvis tucked underneath us. Now we're going to start some counterclockwise circles. Push the hip out to 9. Drive the hip back to 6. Over to 3. And then tuck it under to 12. 9, 6, 3, 12. Make sure you're moving just the hips. Keep your upper body nice and still. You should feel the heads of the femurs moving around in those hip sockets. So we're lubricating all that connected tissue in those areas. And now let's reverse. Now we're going clockwise. Go out to 3, back to 6, over to 9, and then to 12. 3, 6, 9, 12. 2 more. 3, 6, 9, 12. 1 more. 3, 6, 9, and 12. Excellent. Okay. Let's get that spine rotating. Set your feet a little wider than hip width apart. Place the sticks at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Set them right against the insteps right there. Place your hands about shoulder level. We're in a nice tall position. We're going to keep the hips square for right now, and we're going to look straight ahead. So we're going to disassociate. So you're going to engage your glutes, and your glutes are actually going to prevent rotation of your hips right now. Push the sticks into the floor at about 40% tension and move both sticks to the left. Don't turn your head and don't turn your hips. So we're rotating the thoracic spine. And now rotate the sticks to the right. Keep your eyes locked on a point straight in front of you at 12 o'clock. Squeeze those glutes. Keep those hips facing forward. Move the sticks to the left. You're constantly pushing those sticks into the floor, about 40 to 50% tension right now. Make sure you're breathing. Full inhale, full exhale. Back to the right. Now when we go to the left, we're going to let our head turn. But keep your hips facing forward. Breathe. Now we're going to the right. Squeeze those glutes. Keep those hips facing forward. Left. Right. You may have to adjust the sticks every once in a while if they start to slide away from the instep. Come back to center. Now, when we rotate, we're going to let the hips turn with you. Push the sticks into the floor about 40-50%. Rotate to the left. Let the hips turn this time. You're going to get a little bit more rotation. You're also going to feel this chain reaction all the way down to the feet and the ankles. You're going to feel that in the knees. Those areas have to be able to deal with the torque that you're creating when you go through rotational movements. One more to the right. Back to center. And now put one stick down. Place the other stick parallel to the floor across at the sternum level. Keep your elbows straight. And now we're going to go through our full rotation. What we're going to do here is we're going to rotate to the right, to the left. So this right foot that I'm tapping, push this into the floor, corkscrew, and rotate all the way around. So we're looking for quadruple extension. We want the back right toes in extension, right ankle, right knee, and right hip. A lot of your weight should be shifting to that left leg right now. Come back to center. Come to a full stop so your feet are set again. And now we're going to go to the right. Corkscrew that left foot. Rotate. Quadruple extension. Get as much rotation as you can. You want to imagine that you're like a washcloth and you're trying to wring it out. One more to the left. Come back to center. One more to the right. Come back to center. Excellent. Take a couple seconds here. Now we're going to move to those shoulders. Set your feet again. We're going to go back in that horse stance. Eyes looking straight ahead. Elbows are straight. We're going to start kayaking here. We did this last workout. We're going to get those scapula moving, gliding along the rib cage. You're looking down river. Breathing. Full inhale, full exhale. Keep your hips still. Breathe. You should feel your anterior or front arm line actually trying to shorten the stick. You should feel the tension through your pecs, your biceps. And now reverse. Now we're going backwards. For you swimmers out there, this is just like doing a backstroke. Keep your elbows straight. Breathe. You should feel your posterior arm line moving around, engaging, pulling the stick apart. You should feel the back of the shoulders. Breathe. And relax. And we have overhead dislocates now. Stay in that horse stance. When we do the overhead dislocate, make sure that that red line between your pubis area and your sternum stays connected. Do not let that lengthen at all. So here's our side profile. Grab the stick. Take a wider grip, but make sure the pinkies stay firmly engaged with the stick. Pull apart on that stick at 30% tension. Pull. You should feel your posterior arm line activated. Keep that tension and slowly go overhead. As you go overhead, squeeze those abs, squeeze the glutes, and hold. Elbows should be straight. Ribs connected to the hips. Head stacked above your shoulders. You're still pulling apart on that stick. Slowly start to come back to your starting position. When you see the stick in your peripheral line of sight, shorten the stick. It's a 6-foot stick, so you're trying to make it 5.5 feet in length. Now at the bottom, take a second, and here we go again. Rep 2. Pull apart on that stick. Come up overhead. Breathe. Keep those abs locked to the hips. Ribs to hips. You should be able to come back just a smidge bit further this time. Breathe. Hold. Start to return back to your base. When you see the stick in your peripheral line of sight, shorten the stick. Take a second at the bottom. Here we go. Rep 3. Ready? And again, pull. Remember, your hands should not be sliding on the stick. They stay right where they're at. Come back a little bit further. Hold. Breathe. Remember, elbows are straight. Breathe. You're keeping that red line from the pubis bone area to the sternum nice and short. Breathe. Head stays stacked over the shoulders. Come back over the top. When you see the stick in your peripheral line of sight, push in and come back down. Nice. Okay, let's go ahead and grab both sticks. We should be nice and mobile right now. Nice warmed up. And now let's get into some strength training phase here. We're going to go back to we're going to do right now a simple hip flexion, hip extension drill. Here's a little bit of a side profile for you. Feet close together, about a couple inches apart. Sticks at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Hands are chest level. From here, we're going to push the sticks into the floor, about 60% tension. Nice tall spine. Imagine somebody has a string at the top of your head and is trying to pull you nice and tall. Bring your left hip up into flexion. Breathe. Full inhale, full exhale. Increase tension to 70%. Push. Drive those sticks into the ground a little bit harder. Your right leg should be driving nice and hard into the floor. You should feel that right glute working to keep that right hip in extension. Give me 80%. Push a little bit harder. You should, as you push harder, be able to get more flexion in that left hip. Breathe. Full inhale, full exhale. Hold and relax. Okay, now let's switch to the other leg. Here we go. 60% tension, push the sticks into the floor. Lats should be engaged, deep front line should be turned on. And now bring that right hip up into flexion. Breathe. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Increase to 70% tension. Push a little bit harder. Driving that left foot straight down into the floor. You should feel that left glute really activated. Give me 80% tension. Push a little bit harder. You should be able to bring that right hip up into a little bit more flexion this time. Breathe. That left glute should be talking to you right now. And relax. Nice. Now let's go into some standing internal, external hip taps. Feet together, sticks at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. If you have a problem reaching at one of the sticks, either internal or external rotation, move that stick in closer so that you can tap the stick. Give me 60% tension, pushing the stick into the floor. Bring your right hip up into flexion. We're going to bring it up as high as we can. Keep the femur in the middle. And now let's go internal rotation and tap the right stick. If you look at the position of my knee, you can see where that rotation took place. Tap the left stick. Tap the right. Tap the left. Tap right. Tap left. Tap right. Tap left. Back to center and relax. Next side. 60% tension. Push. Bring your left hip up into flexion. Here we go. Internal rotation. Tap left. External. Tap right. Keep that femur nice and still in the middle. Tap left. Tap right. Tap left. Tap right. So the midfoot is tapping the stick. Tap left. Tap right. Back to center and relax. Now, let's really push it. Here we go. Ready? 60% tension, push. Bring that right hip up into flexion. Now, go internal rotation. Now, drive that foot into the stick. Push. You're pushing down at 60-70% tension. That right foot should be driving into the stick. You can see that flex that I'm creating in the stick. Breathe. Now, release. Go external rotation. Push. That midfoot is pushing into the stick. Keep that left glute underneath you. Breathe. Do not let it slide out. So we don't want to see this taking place. Stay nice and tall. Back to internal. Push. Stay nice and tall. Head up. Left glute should be talking to you right now. Go to external rotation. Push. Breathe. Full inhale. Full exhale. One more of each. Internal. Push. External. Push. Back to center and relax. Take a couple seconds. Ready? Opposite side. Here we go. Ready? Push. Give me 60% tension. Bring that left hip up into flexion. Internal rotation and drive. Push that stick. Push that foot right into the stick. That left hand should be pushing down harder so that stick doesn't slide. External rotation. Push. Full inhale, full exhale. Drive. Back to internal. Push. Remember, you want to keep that upper leg bone nice and straight and in the middle. Don't let that upper leg bone go in or out. So that's abduction, adduction. Push. Right now we're doing external and internal rotation. One more of each. Push. Internal. Back to external. Push. Back to center and relax. Now, let's get into our lateral lines with what we call the Vitruvian man. We're going to bring our feet together. We're going to place the sticks at 3 and 9. So right at midfoot. And now slide the sticks about a foot away from you. Hands are shoulder level. And keep those arms at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Do not let those arms change their slots. Ready? Give me 60% tension. Push. Now, keeping that right leg nice and straight, simply push it out to the side. So the midfoot should be pushing against that right stick. Stay nice and tall. Sometimes your hips are going to want to go back into that anterior tilt. Squeeze that left glute and keep that pelvis tucked underneath you. Now, ease off the tension. Slide your foot forward just in front of the stick and actively lift. Breathe. Hold that. You're working all the right lateral tissues right now. Breathe. Ease off and relax. Remember what we said the other day, if you experience some cramping, that's perfectly fine. Ease out of it, walk around a little bit, move around, let the cramping dissipate, and then pick right back up where we're at. Here we go. Ready? 60% tension. Bring your left foot out and push. Both legs are straight. Full inhale, full exhale. So here's our static isometric hold. Ready? Now we're going to slide the foot forward, actively lift. Remember, make sure that that left leg is not externally rotating. We want to feel the lateral tissues or your side tissues. If you get rotation, that's going to change where you're feeling the tissue lines. Breathe. And relax. Now I'm going to change my profile a little bit here so that you can see where we're going to push and into the back and the front of the stick. Here we go. Ready? 60% tension, push. Bring your right foot out to the side and push. Stay nice and tall. Keep the ribs connected to the hips. Here's our static push. Now, slide your foot forward, actively lift, and now drive back into the stick. So right now, you should be feeling your lateral, posterior, or back tissues on your right side. Breathe. You should feel your right front arm resisting that push. Keep your ribs connected to your hips. Ease off. Come behind the stick and push forward. Drive. Now you should be feeling lateral anterior tissues on that right side. Breathe. And relax. Let's switch to the other side. Here we go. I'm just changing my view so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Give me 60% tension, push. Bring your left foot out and push. Full inhale, full exhale. Slide your foot forward, actively lift, and now push back. You can see where I'm creating that flex in the stick by driving that back of that left leg into the stick. You have left lateral posterior tissues at work right now. Breathe. Ease off. Go behind the stick, lift up, and push forward. Now we have lateral anterior tissues on that left side. Breathe. Keep the ribs connected to the hips. Full inhale, full exhale. And relax. Now, RDL. We're going to do RDLs, but with contralateral and ipsilateral stick lifts. We're going to do the static Ice Rdl first. Feet close together. Sticks at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Bring the bottoms pretty close to the toe line, about 3 inches or so in front. Hands are going to be about sternum level. Give me 60% tension pushing those sticks into the floor. Bring your right hip up into flexion. And now hinge. Breathe. You're lengthening those right arms. You're driving that right heel straight back. So dorsiflex or pull the toes on that right side towards your right shin. As you do that, you're going to feel more tension into the ground through that left foot. Come back up. That was rep 1. Now we're going to do the lift-offs. Here we go. Ready? Hinge. Breathe. Make sure that that right hip is internally rotated so that you're flat across the backside. Now, lift that left stick just 1 inch off the floor. Here we have your contralateral pattern connecting your right hand to your left foot. Breathe. Now, bring the left stick down, push. Give me 60% tension. Full inhale, full exhale. Lift the right stick 1 inch off the floor. Remember, don't hold your breath. Right stick down, push. Lift the left stick 1 inch off the floor. That's barely enough room for me to put some paper under there. Breathe. Left stick down, reestablish 60%, and now lift both sticks. Full inhale, full exhale. Hold that position, guys. Both sticks down, drive back up. Whew, it's a lot of work going on. Nice. Okay, last strength training one that we're going to do. Lunges with stick lifts. Here we go. Grab that pad that we talked about earlier. If you have bad knees, like we talked about last session, you're going to start from the top and drop down into your lunge. The rest of us, let's put that right knee on the pad. Make sure that your back leg is in line with your front leg. No external rotation. Sticks at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Your hands are going to be at just about chin level. Give me 60% tension pushing those sticks into the floor. Push. Build to 70. Build to 80. Push harder. And now lift. Hover that back knee. Lift the left stick. Keep that torso nice and tall. Bring the left stick down. Lift the right. Breathe. These static lunges are a son of a bitch, huh? Right stick down. Push. Breathe. Now lift both sticks. Hold. Tight grip on those sticks. Irradiate your upper body too. Squeeze the hell out of those sticks. Breathe. Both sticks down and relax. Let's switch sides. Remember, check that back leg position. Make sure it's in line with the upper leg bone on that left side. Here we go. Ready? 60% tension. Push. You may find that you're building up a lot higher, a lot quicker, but stay within your own comfort zone. Push to 70. Push to 80. And now hover. 80% tension. Lift the right stick. Right stick down. Lift the left. You're pushing 80%, guys. Push. Left stick down. Lift both. Hold. Squeeze those sticks. Grip. Irradiate those arm lines. Breathe. And relax. Nice. Alrighty. Now, let's get into some stretching. We're going to start with the hips first, or the anterior line up through here. Grab your pad, use your couch, or use a yoga block or a smaller step stool if you're a little tight through here. Place the right knee on the pad and the right foot on top of your elevated platform back here. Both sticks at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. Push those sticks in the floor, about 30% tension. So we're stretching here. So we're going to down regulate. So we're only pushing at about 30% tension. Now push the top of the right foot into the couch or the pad or whatever you're elevated up on at 30%. You're going to feel that all the way through the front of the right quad. Breathe. Squeeze that right glute. Give me a posterior pelvic tuck. to open up that anterior tissue line a little bit more. And now move the sticks to the left. Let your head rotate. You're pushing those sticks to the floor, about 30% tension. Do not let your hips turn though. You're going to feel that even more in the right side. Come back to center. Ease off tension. Reach the hands up a little bit higher. So we're automatically going to lengthen this line just by reaching our arms up. Here we go again. Ready? Give me 30% tension, pushing those sticks into the floor. Push the top of your right foot down into your platform. Breathe. Squeeze that right glute. Give me a posterior pelvic tuck. You should already feel an increased line of tension than you did earlier. And now rotate to the left. Come back to center. Ease off tension. Now, last one, we're going to bring that neck into extension. I know we've all been sitting at home with our iPads and our computers, so time to open up this whole front line. Here we go. Ready? Push the sticks into the floor about 30%. Push the top of the right foot down into the pad. Squeeze that right glute. Give me a posterior pelvic tuck. And now pull your neck into extension. Do not get into the low back. And now turn to the left. Let your head rotate. Keep the neck in extension. Breathe. Back to center. And relax. Switch sides. Adjust your pad, whatever you need. Okay, sticks at 11 and 1. We're going to start with the hands just about chin level, eye level. Give me 30% tension, pushing those sticks into the floor. Push the top of your left foot down into your platform. Breathe. Squeeze that left glute and give me a posterior pelvic tuck. And now move the sticks to the right. Let your head turn. You're going to feel that down into that left anterior tissue line. Do not let that right hip turn out to the side. Come back to center. Ease off tension. Reach your hands up a little bit higher on those sticks. Here we go again. Ready? Push 30% tension. Push the top of the left foot into the platform. Squeeze your left glute. Tuck your pelvis. And now turn to the right. You should feel a little bit bigger stretch than you did on the first rep. Back to center. Ease off tension. And now we're going to move that head again. Ready? Here we go. Push the sticks on the floor, 30% tension. Push the top of the left foot into the platform. Squeeze that left glute. Give me a posterior pelvic tuck. Pull your head and neck into extension. Breathe. And now turn to the right. You should feel even more all the way down that left anterior line. Come back to center and relax. Okay. Now, let's get hamstrings. Feet close together, sticks at 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. The stick should be about 6 to 7 inches in front of the toes. Let's bring your hands just about chest level. Slide that right heel forward. It doesn't need to be that far forward. It literally just needs to be in front of those left toes. Here we go. Give me 30% tension pushing the sticks into the floor and hinge. As soon as you hinge, pushing that butt backwards, Keep your back flat, and you're going to feel that stretch in that right hamstring. Breathe. As soon as you feel that stretch, you don't need to go any further than that. Now, take that right heel and push the heel into the floor. So imagine you're trying to pull that floor underneath you with your right heel. That's going to activate that right posterior line. Hold that position, and now internally rotate that right femur. Externally rotate that right femur. Internally rotate. Externally rotate. Your left hip should be nice and still. There shouldn't be any movement in that left side. So don't let it waggle out to the side. Back over to external rotation, still pushing that heel into the floor. Come back to center and relax. Switch sides. Left heel, slide it forward. Give me 30% tension pushing the sticks in the floor and hinge. Soft angle at that right knee. Back is nice and flat. Now, push that left heel into the floor. Try to pull that floor underneath you with that left heel. Remember, you have to keep your back flat. If you start to round your lumbar spine, you're going to get away from that hamstring stretch. Breathe. And now, external rotation on that left femur. Internal. Don't let that right hip waggle back and forth. It should be nice and still. Internal rotation on the left femur. External, you're still pushing the heel into the floor. Internal. Let's get one more. External. Internal. Back to center and relax. Let's go ahead and have a seat on the floor. We're going to need just one stick. All right? So this is what we call our frog stretch, our frog sit. So we're going to target these adductors right through here. So we're going to flex the hips, sit up nice and tall, grab your stick, and place it under the balls of the feet. Overhand grip on the stick. Okay? So start with your feet in close. As you get better, then you can take the feet out a little bit wider. This is a halfway point for people that are really tight through the groin area and can't get into a full straddle. From here, what we're going to do is take those toes and try to grab your stick with it. Remember, your toes are just stubby little versions of your fingers, so you should be able to squeeze and grip things with your toes. Now from here, create a nice tall spine. That doesn't mean arch the back. All it means is elevate your spine and lengthen it up to the ceiling. Imagine someone has that string at the top of your head and is pulling you up to the ceiling. As soon as you do that, you're going to feel tension into the stick. Now, push your knees out to the sides. You're still sitting in that tall spine. You're driving those knees away from you. You should start to feel that in the groin area. Your adductors. Breathe. Full inhale, full exhale. Ease off tension. Ready? And again. Sit up nice and tall. Grab the stick with those toes. And now push those knees away from you. Breathe. Full inhale, full exhale. Nice tall spine. Ease off the tension. If you feel good with that, take your feet a little bit wider. And you can take your hands wider. Here we go. Ready? And again, grab the stick with your toes. Sit up nice and tall. And now push the knees away from you. So your knees are driving out to your 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock positions. Breathe. Remember, we're down regulating. Ease off tension. Excellent. Okay, come on up. Now, we're going to go into our hinge pattern, and then we're going to go into what we call our human sail. We're going to lengthen the posterior and then go right into your anterior tissue line. So let's grab both sticks. Let's set your feet about a little wider than hip width apart, or shoulder width apart actually. Place the sticks inside your insteps. We're going to place the hands so that they're right about forehead level. Give me 30% tension pushing the sticks into the floor, and now hinge. Pushing your hips straight backwards. It's kind of like a standing child's pose. Push the hips straight backwards, soft angle at those knees. Remember, you're trying to keep the lower leg bone centered on top of that ankle joint. You're lengthening the arms, but don't let the shoulder blades release. You're just lengthening the arms. You should feel that whole posterior line lengthening. And now from here, straighten your knees. Now you'll feel a real full stretch of that whole posterior sling. Ease off. And again, straighten the knees. If you're hypermobile, this isn't going to do much for you. So just focus on actually trying to keep centered on the ankle joint for people that are hypermobile. And also focus on more of the strength training aspect. Ease off. One more time. Ready? Because if you have hyperextended knees, you already hang out all the time on this at this end range. Ease off. Now keep that tension 30%. And now squeeze the glutes. Head back, pull the arms back, and open up that whole anterior line. Come back to center. Remember, make sure you can breathe. If you're in any position and you can't breathe, ease out of it to the point where you can breathe. Here we go. 30% tension, squeeze the glutes, tuck your pelvis, push your butt forward. Let your head go back. Your head is part of that front line. Breathe. Pull your arms back. Now you can see why we're calling this a human sail. Imagine you're a sail on a sailboat and the wind is pushing into your back. Come forward. And one more. Ready? Here we go. Reset your grip if you need to. Ready? 30% tension. Squeeze the glutes. Tuck the pelvis. Breathe. Come back to center and relax. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier, for those of you who are making comments on there, Alistair is part of our Stick Mobility family. He's the head of our marketing and branding. He may be replying to you just in case you're wondering who he is, alrighty? Okay, now let's finish up with the lateral bow and arrow. Let's set our feet about hip width apart. Place the stick at 3 o'clock. Right hand right above where the sticker is. Left hand over the top. Keep those hips square, folks. Both hips should be facing forward. Push your hip out to 9 o'clock first, and then extend those arms out to 3. Remember, the flex of the stick is there to add energy to the kinetic chain. It is never our intent to see how far we can flex the stick. You should feel that left lateral line opening up. Ease off. Rotate the stick slightly and repeat. Push the hip out to 9 o'clock first. Drive the arms away from you out to 3. Keep both legs straight and keep your hips square. Now from here, take that left hand and pull up on the stick. And now you're going to feel that left ribs and all those tissues in there start to activate. Breathe. Ease off. Rotate the stick slightly. We're going to do that one more time. Here we go. Ready? Push your hips out first to 9. Drive the stick out to 3. And now, lightly pull up on the stick with that left hand. Like you're trying to pull the top off that stick. Just lightly, though. You're going to feel that all through your serratus, all through your rib cage. Ease off and relax. Let's finish up on the other side, folks. 9 o'clock position. Hand right above where the sticker is. Right hand over the top. Hips are square. Push your hips out to 3 o'clock first. Drive the arms out to 9. Full inhale, full exhale. Ease off tension. Rotate the stick slightly so that way we can increase the life of the stick. Push your hip out to 3. Extend the arms out to 9. And now lightly pull up on the stick with that right hand. Imagine you're trying to pull the top off the stick. You're going to feel that right rib cage really start to activate. Ease off tension. One more time. Here we go. Ready? Rotate the stick. Push your hip out to 3 o'clock. Drive those arms out to 9. Full inhale, full exhale. And lightly pull up on the top of that stick with that right hand. Breathe. And relax. Awesome. Thanks for joining us today, guys. This workout will be available so that you can go back and reference it, repeat it a couple times. We'll be back here Thursday morning, same time, 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, noon East Coast time. If you don't have sticks, use what you have available. If you go to the hardware store, like I said last video, you get a schedule 40. Buy 2 pieces, have them cut into 6 and 4s, alrighty? So until next time, for more information or video content, check out our YouTube channel. There's a ton of videos up there for you guys. We love your feedback. Send us any questions that you may have. If there's any specific target areas, let us know, and we can put that into our next session specifically for you, alrighty? Until next time, guys, stay safe out there, stay healthy. Peace.